Hi, welcome to my show. This is a new project I'm really excited to start, and today is week number 1. And I wanted to first explain that I was inspired by a makeup artist who does a show called Murder, Mystery, and Makeup. Her name is Bailey Saran. I hope that's how you pronounce her name. If any of you guys know me, you know that I'm obsessed with murder, and I know all the stories, I read all the things, I watch all the shows. And so when I discovered Murder, Mystery, and Makeup by Bailey, I was really excited about it. And I had already been like kind of playing around with doing my own little Makeup Monday thing, and I was like, wow, that's really fun. I want a theme too. So I am going to be doing, at least for the next 78 days, weeks, I'm going to be doing mystical makeup, and it's going to be aired on Mondays. And the idea is I'm going to take a journey of the tarot with you guys. And I researched decks, most beautiful tarot decks from 2020, and I chose a deck that I liked. And I'm going to pull a card from the deck. I'm going to do my makeup based on and inspired by that card. And I'll tell you all about the card while I'm doing it. So the deck that I chose is called the Muse. I know it might be backwards because of the way my camera is. I'll get that worked out, I promise. So it's a 78 card deck, which I believe is a standard deck. And it does come with a guidebook. And this deck is a little bit different than some other decks because they actually have recast some of the suits. So if you're familiar with the tarot at all, there's usually a few suits: cups, wands, swords, and pentacles. And in this particular deck, the author has decided to recast the suits as emotions for cups, inspiration for wands, voices for swords, and materials for pentacles. And she says that the purpose of this is to deliver messages from the source of creation. From what I understand, this deck is meant to inspire you to create. And so she's kind of given it her own spin. This is created by Chris Ann, is the author of this deck. So I'm really excited to get going. Let me show you the card that I chose for this week. My card this week is actually normally from the Cup suit. In this deck, it's the 3 of Emotions. And as you can see, this deck is gorgeous. That's one of the reasons I chose it. So the makeup that I'm going to be doing inspired by this card is going to have a lot of blues. I'm not going to do exactly what they have these women looking like. I'm going to do my own little thing, but it's going to be very much inspired by this card. So there's going to be a lot of blue going on and a nice dark lip. And let me show you one more time, and then we'll get started. And I'll show you this card again at some point throughout this broadcast. So I knew I was going to have to give you guys a little bit of background information about the tarot for this first video, and I planned to do that. I didn't do a ton of research on it, but I just did enough to kind of give you a little tiny bit of insight about the tarot in general and where it came from. So the tarot was actually originally invented back in Italy in the 1430s. They just kind of added 4 suited, they added to the existing 4 suited pack, they added a 5th suit. So they took like the deck of 4 suits, and they added a 5th. And that is kind of how the tarot was born. They also added some other things. They added the Fool card, and they also added the Triumphs. So it was kind of originally loosely based off of a regular deck of playing cards. So that's where it came from. And the original decks were kind of bold, bright colors, from what I understand. And they have just over the years gotten more and more beautiful. Like, people have really made an art form out of just tarot decks. So you can find some really gorgeous decks these days. I actually found the deck that I'm going to use throughout this series online by just like doing a search of most beautiful decks, tarot decks of 2020. So if you've never kind of looked into it, I totally suggest that you do. It's really, really great. So the card that we chose, the Three of Emotions, is in other tarot decks referred to as the Three of Cups. And the Three of Cups is the third card in the Suit of Cups. And it was, has also been known as chalices in some decks. So you can find it referred to as different things. In this deck, it's referred to as the emotions. It's recast as the emotions. In other decks, it's referred to as the chalices. It just really depends on which deck you're looking at. And the card is used in the tarot for many different ways. Obviously, a tarot can be done in a 3-card spread, like past, present, future, or there are several different spreads that you can do. So in this case, we're just kind of pulling one and using it to inspire some creativity, because this deck is meant to inspire creativity. So that's kind of the point of this whole thing. But more about the card itself. The Three of Emotions, or Three of Cups, has several different keywords that can be associated with it. Joy, abundance, love. It also can mark like the sign of celebration, satisfaction, family gatherings, women's groups, stuff like that. And oftentimes, and I thought this was really interesting just because of who I am. Obviously, you guys know I'm a stylist and I have a little salon. So interestingly enough, the professions that are often associated with the Three of Cups are beauticians, dancers, socialites, wedding planners, event organizers, and entertainers, which I thought was really interesting. And I will say that when you're doing tarot or having someone do your tarot, usually you're gonna, like, at least the way I was introduced to it and taught, you're gonna kind of like shuffle the deck and try to touch each and every card, thinking about what it is that you wanted to find out about and learn about yourself. And so that's what I did when I opened this deck up and I wanted to pick a first card. I was like, talk to me about this project. Like, what's going to come of this project? Is this going to be something that's going to be good for me? Is this going to be something I'm going to enjoy? Is this going to be as exciting as I feel like it's going to be? And after I did all my shuffling, I pulled out the Three of Emotions. And I was really, really interested to read all about it and find out what it meant. Interestingly enough, I'll pause real quick and read to you a little excerpt from the book, because there was a really interesting little tidbit in there that I wanted to remember to share with you guys. And since it's coming straight from the book, I didn't want to try to remember it. I wanted to actually like read that part to you. So it says that the fiery wands have transformed into inspiration as the suit carries the sparks of motion and a ton of creative energy. The watery cups have transitioned into emotions as the suit helps us to recognize our heart space and tune into our feelings. The airy swords have grown into voices, as the difficulties we face when creating our lives is often a result of communication or of the voices inside our own heads. And the earthly pentacles have bloomed into materials, as this suit is about rooting security, wealth, and safety. And I did some reading up in the booklet that comes along with this card. And interestingly enough, basically what this whole booklet told me was that this card is all about like friendships and relationships and festivities and spending time with sort of loved ones, and more than that, your connection to women, to other women, which I found very interesting. There was also some interesting information in there about like the 3 different women that are found in this card. And I read a lot about how these women actually so bonded together and so began to so love each other that they began to actually like think alike and even look alike. And that's kind of the history of this card and these women is, so it obviously it can mean many different things to many different people, and you have to kind of decide for yourself. But for me, what I heard specifically is that this was going to be a really good opportunity for me to connect and bond with women that may already be in my circle or may not already be in my circle who would be interested in this project. And I saw really, really good things coming from this. If you know much about the tarot, you'll know that there's also what they call reversed cards. And what that means is every card has its own meaning when it's pulled in the reverse. And depending on who you talk to, you'll get different information about this. The way I was taught and the way I personally feel, I don't think that the reversal has much meaning. That's just my personal opinion. I feel like, what the card means is what the card means, and that has to be gleaned from a combination of different things, and whether or not the card was drawn upside down isn't one of them. Just my personal opinion. I know people who feel very differently about it. I have some friends in particular who like seriously believe in the reversed meaning of cards, and I think that's fine too. I think it's just each individual person and reader and how they feel about it. So my personal opinion doesn't really matter as much, but just because we're learning here, I'm going to share with you what the reversed meaning of this card can be. So the reversed meaning of this card can mean excess, gluttony, just like generally overdoing it. Let's see. Ruined party plans, feeling ostracized, sort of just like, I guess, excess in some ways, if you think about it. Also, sexual deviancy, a love triangle, things like that. So there's that to take into consideration. There's always the dark side to any given thing, but I think for me at least, in general, good people are good people, and that's what matters. So this is fun. When I did my trial run of this look, I did it a little less saturated, but I'm kind of enjoying this. I'm not mad at it, not at all. All right, so there's also some other interesting information that I found about this particular card. In general, if it's not reversed, the Three of Cups is usually considered a really positive card. And it can be, help, send help. I'm dropping. It's a very positive card for growth and development in these areas, and it's a really good sign that you're enjoying yourself in life. So if you're getting a card, if you're pulling this card, it means that whatever you're doing sounds like you're really enjoying it, sounds like you're on a really good path, which can be really interesting if you're in a particularly trying time. Like right now, it's a pandemic, and there are some serious difficulties I'm going to have to use my mirror down here, guys. There are some serious difficulties to navigating a business, a small business, sort of what I'm doing during a pandemic. And so I have thought at times that I wasn't really having a very good time, but I've got some things happening lately. I've got like some new people in my salon working, and it's freeing up a little bit more time for me to do some more creative things like what I'm doing with you guys here right now. So perhaps this is a really positive sign for me that this is going to bring really good things to me and the people that are here working for me. And that's exciting. And I think it's okay to get excited when you're doing things like tarot, because that's kind of the point. Like, why not? Right? So anyways, it could be a very positive sign, a sign that you're enjoying yourself, stuff like that. Let's take a peek at it one more time. So I've got all this really pretty blue going on. So I'm going to finish this look up really quick. I'm almost done with the eyes. I just want to give myself a really nice, bold lash. And then when I'm done with that, I will give myself a beautiful dark lip. And then I will run off camera, do my hair, and then come back and share with you my final thoughts about this card. I want to thank you guys in advance for sticking with me. This is my first mystical makeup video, and just like any new endeavor, I'm 100% sure I will learn so much from this experience and come to the table next week with so much more to offer you all. Does anybody else find it hard to talk while you're doing your mascara? Or is it just me? I'm too busy like trying not to open my little mouth up like or touch the top. Don't touch the top of my makeup. I'm gonna actually, before I go, give myself some blush and like a little bit of color back in my face since I whited myself all out. And you know, I'm going kind of fun with these looks because, hello, it's inspired by a tarot deck. It's not meant to be, it's meant, in my opinion, to be gutsy, creative, fun, completely and totally inspirational. So I'm going to take it far. All right, there's that. I'm interested in all of your thoughts, of course, about like how this card like makes you feel and what you know about this particular card, or maybe experiences that you've had throughout your life. And I'm honestly really interested to pay attention throughout the week and see what pops up for me in terms of threes, because I also noticed that I got some interesting three like pop-ups when I was out with the girls for my sister. We were doing her bachelorette party. I'm sorry, not her bachelorette party, her wedding dress shopping, which was super exciting. And I had one of the girls there pull a card. She never pulled anything before, and it came up with the number 3. And I'm not going to share what it meant for her or like what came of it for her, but I will say that it was a very significant number for her. And interestingly enough for me, I guess too, because look at me, I went and I reshuffled the deck and I thought for myself and I did all of this work, and up popped something that has to do with a 3. So I'm excited about it. I hope you guys are too. I will say, like, just for the sake of getting vulnerable, as you must in some of these little videos, sharing with the world a little bit, I feel like women are kind of important to me. Like, I don't know, just like, I feel strongly like it's important for me to have bonds with women in my life, and it hasn't always been easy for me or the easiest thing for me to do. And so I'm really excited to have some sort of sign that I'm, you know, that's what my focus should be right now. And if you think about it, my focus has kind of always been on women with my career, you know, like I make people beautiful for a living. That's literally what I do. And it brings me joy. It sparks joy for me to make them feel good about the way that they look. So I'm really excited about the relationships that I'm forming right now with the people who are in my life. And I'm excited about what this card means and what it means for me and what it might mean for any of you who are listening who feel like you identify with this card. I'm excited about learning something new and starting a new process. And I don't know, I just can't wait to see where this whole thing goes and learn more and more about different things as far as tarot goes week by week. You can count on me to be consulting some experts because, like I said, I'm not exactly what I would call an expert in this field at this point, but I would say I'm a learner. My brows are so fun to me. I know some makeup artists don't love to do brows, but I really enjoy them because I don't really have them. So like making them come to life, like, I don't know, it just makes me really happy. It's really exciting to me to be like, oh, look at that. Look what exists now, you guys. Look at that magic. I do usually use more of a powder for my brow, but hey, we're using what we got today and I'm not mad at it. Okay, now that I've got some basic brows going on, I'm going to apply some dark lipstick, you guys. And yeah, it's black. And cool. If you don't like black, that's fine. You don't ever have to do it, but I'm doing it. All right, guys. The reason I chose black is because my sweet little card, I'm inspired by this little card going on. So I did some blue, I did some black. I think it's a fun look. I'm going to go do my hair and put on a few finishing touches, and then I will be back to show you the final look. Welcome back. I threw my hair up in sort of a little bun type thing, gave myself a little bit of a golden shimmer, and this is the final look inspired by our card, the Three of Emotions. I made sure it was extra. Went out of my way to do something really fun. I'll say the dark lip is not my absolute fave. I do like a dark lip, but black is a little hard for me to pull off. But maybe if I mixed it with something else, I'm thinking it would have been nice. But all in all, I think it's a fun look. I don't do blue that often, so it was a really enjoyable moment for me. I hope you guys had fun. I hope you guys like what I did. I hope you tune in next time to learn all about our next card. I haven't pulled it yet, but I'll pull it as soon as possible. Thank you for joining me. Thank you for learning with me. Thanks for hearing all about the Three of Emotions and our deck that we're doing, the Muse. And I hope that I see you again next week. Peace, love, Pom.